Wolfenstein is probably one of the most difficult series on PlayStation and Xbox alike to get all achievements or trophies for. I decided to start my journey of getting every achievement for every Wolfenstein game that is possible with probably the most polarizing. Welcome back to Socks and Sandals, and today we are doing an achievement HuntWhores in Wolfenstein Youngblood. Wolfenstein Youngblood came out, and it was pretty much panned across the board as probably the worst Wolfenstein game in the series. Hell, I bet it got reviewed worse than Castle Wolfenstein from the early 2000s. So we begin this achievement HuntWhores with already a few achievements unlocked. If you had watched my previous achievement HuntWhores Variety Hour, you would have seen that I got about 110 gamer score in Wolfenstein Youngblood because it was a game picked on the wheel. So the achievements that I got in that video were Airship Down, A Better You, Among Friends, Prepper, Kitted Out, Stealthy, Supreme Ninja, Ripper, Right Tool for the Job, and Extra Everything. If you would like to see more of the early parts of Wolfenstein Youngblood, I will link the previous Achievement HuntWhores Variety Hour in the description, but let's just get into this video. I started playing Wolfenstein Youngblood with Nathan because there is a co-op achievement called Teamwork where you have to complete a mission in co-op. So the deluxe version of Wolfenstein Youngblood includes a buddy pass where you can just send your friend the buddy pass and they don't have to purchase a copy of the game. But with Wolfenstein Youngblood not reviewing very well, a pre-owned copy at GameStop is $4.99. The first achievement I actually got in this new play session is Rasputin, revive or get revived 25 times. So because I had already played this previously, I was pretty close to having been revived or reviving the AI partner 25 times. The story for Wolfenstein Youngblood is decent, I would say. You play as BJ's twin daughters, Soph and Jess. I chose to play as Jess. I don't know. They're really not any different. Just one's got black hair and one's blonde hair. I do like Soph's laugh. She has one of those wheezing laughs, and I think it's quite endearing. What the fuck? That is an ugly laugh. So I will give her that. But other than having slightly different personalities, they play exactly the same. There are only about 7 actual main story missions in the game, but they're broken up by side quests and other tedium that you have to do between missions. A lot of the brother missions require you to be a higher level, so there's a lot of like grinding and doing side quests so that you can level your character up so that way you're not just like instantly killed on a lot of the missions. The gunplay feels great. The stealth is kind of ass. There are a lot of times where you'll just be spotted even though you were fully cloaked, and the game just seems to cheat some of the time, which is weird because it's co-developed by Arcane, who made the Dishonored series, and the stealth in that game is absolutely fantastic. So I don't know why they bungled it so hard in this one, but stealth is honestly terrible. But it's the thing I use the most. The stealth takedowns with the knife and then just throwing the knife is probably the most powerful move you have in the game. And the story is passable at best. Early on, I would say I enjoyed playing Wolfenstein Youngblood, especially playing it with Nathan. After unlocking Rasputin, I then unlocked Resistor, which is to kill 500 enemies. There are tons of enemies in pretty much every area, and as Nathan and I witnessed firsthand, is sometimes they will just spawn in directly behind you. I've even had it spawn in right in front of me, just out of thin air. The way the enemies work is that if you do not kill the Commandant first, he signals for reinforcements, and you are then just overwhelmed with Nazis. You will definitely be killing plenty of Nazis, and this will probably be one of the earliest achievements you get. By this point, I had 4 hours into the game. The 4 hours doing the variety hour. So within the first 4 hours of playing the game, I killed 500 enemies. Really isn't too much of an ask. So next up, I got Teamwork, which is to complete a mission with a co-op partner. I believe we did a side mission or something. You can do either or. It is a pretty fun game to play co-op. I'll start really talking about the downgrade of quote-unquote fun of the game once we start getting further into the achievement HuntWhores. But at this point, I am having fun playing it with Nathan, and I would have liked to assume Nathan was having fun himself. I do know early on, Nathan complained that there wasn't a proper checkpoint system. So when you're like storming one of the brother facilities, if you die pretty much at any time before it says checkpoint, you restart the entire facility. He was not too happy with that. After Teamwork, I unlocked Bomber, which is to kill 50 enemies using explosives. So you can get this with either the red barrels that are scattered around the map, the acetylene tanks, grenades. You unlock the diesel craftwork weapon, and then you can also, if you've got the, I think like deep pockets or something like that, you can start carrying around the diesel hammer weapon. So there's plenty of explosive weapons. You just need to kill 50 enemies with any number of explosives. After that, I got Heavy Artillery, which is to tuck a hammer weapon away for later. There is a perk that you have to get, and I think you have to be level 45. It's either 30 or 45 to have the perk accessible in the skill tree, and I think you've got to get like 2 other perks in that branch in order to have access to the, I believe it's called Deep Pockets. So that way you can actually pick up a heavy weapon and store it for later. And after that, I got Swatter, which is to kill 20 drones. The drones are probably one of the most annoying enemies in the game. They come out of this, it looks like an old school phone booth. It's a tube, and they don't spawn infinitely, but they'll keep spawning probably about 4 or 5 times, unless you put the code in to turn them off. So there are 2 types of drones. There's a drone that'll shoot electricity at you, and then there's a drone that will shoot rockets at you. Both of them are equally annoying, and they can eviscerate your health in a moment's notice. Yeah, the drones suck. After that, I unlocked Predator, which is to kill an enemy within 3 seconds of uncloaking 50 times. The cloak is what I chose as my starting, I guess, ability. You either have the crush ability or the cloak ability. Like I said, the throwing knives and stealth takedowns are one of the most powerful weapons in the game, especially if you level them up. Being able to cloak and then sneak up behind someone was my ideal situation, though sometimes the cloak didn't work. But what I ended up doing to unlock this faster is, if I knew that an enemy wasn't going to spot me, I would cloak and then immediately uncloak and then just kill them. I would just physically uncloak as opposed to waiting for the cloak to run out. And then after that, we got Brother 1, which is to defeat the Uber Guard in Brother 1. There are 3 brother bases, and in each brother base there is a key that we have to get so that Abby can have access to the Nazis' computer network. So at the end of the first brother base, which is by far the hardest boss within the brother facilities, he has these lasers that he'll just spawn on the floor and they just wreck your health bar. So the first time Nathan and I went in here, he gave us some trouble, but thankfully we didn't run out of our lives. You have shared lives between you and Soph. You've got 3 of them. I say Soph because I played as Jess, but you have 3 lives shared between Jess and Soph. If you lose all 3, you spawn back. You either restart the area you're in or you spawn back in the catacombs. I can't really remember. It's been a while since we've lost all 3 of them. Yeah, thankfully we were able to do this one without having to restart the first brother base. And then after that, I got Tacticool, which is to fully upgrade a weapon brand. With your weapons, you're able to purchase upgrade parts, and there's 3 different brands. There's Tempo, Steer, and I can't remember the first one, but I think it's something to do with tactics. And then you have to buy a weapon part within each of those brands 3 times in order to gain a brand bonus. Within each of those brands, you have the ability to improve a weapon part. So when you buy a part in that brand, it'll give you the option to improve it. All you have to do is buy the same 3 weapon parts and their improvements in order to unlock the Tacticool Achievement. There's an achievement later where you have to buy all weapon parts for each weapon and improve it. So if you're going for a full completion in this game, that one will come naturally because you're trying to get the other one. And then after that, I got Chop and Slice, which is to achieve Mastery level 10 with a melee weapon. This is my first weapon I actually got to level 10 because I was using the throwing knives and stealth takedown so much. It just came with no real effort to get it to level 10. Level 10 isn't the max that you can get your weapons, and with each level you gain a percentage boost for damage with it. So it behooves you to continue using the same weapon so that you can level it up and do more damage. There's another achievement to get every weapon to level 10, so we'll be doing plenty of leveling for our weapons. The knife's max level is actually 25. Really, the only weapon that maxes out at level 10 is the Uber Hammer, which is basically the BFG. I'm glad that you didn't have to max out each weapon because that would have been just absolutely terrible. Next up, I got Supportive, which is to perform 100 pep signals. When I initially played this for the previous Variety Hour, I didn't really use the pep signal too much because the AI was doing okay, and the AI will use their own pep signal. You have plenty of different pep signals. There's like one to give 50 health, to give 50 shield, to give 25 health and shield separate, to res your partner, to give full health. So there are plenty of different pep, and you start off with just having the pep signal of giving 50 plus health. I mostly relied on my health from just the AI partner. I would use it every once in a while, but this one is definitely one I got later on. Hell, I think when Nathan was playing this, he got it before I did because he was just constantly using the pep signal. Later into our co-op playthrough, I started using it more because it became necessary in co-op. Nathan was pretty much the reser. He would use the revive pep, and then I tried to keep us at full health. I used the full health pep. After that, I got Intruder, which is to get through 10 code locks. I believe the codes you input to turn off the drone machines also count for this. A lot of the areas will relock doors, so if you want, you can probably open a door with a code lock, close out of the game, relaunch the game, and then go to the same door and just rinse and repeat to get your 10. But if you played this as long as I did, if you're going for a full completion, this will just come naturally, because 10 code locks ain't nothing. And then following that, we got Brother 2, which is to defeat the Uber Guard in Brother 2. This is by far the easiest Uber Guard in the Brother facilities. Hell, when we got here, like, the achievement popped immediately, and I don't even think I shot once at the Uber Guard. Nathan just killed it. Nathan liked to use the laser craftwork weapon. It just eviscerated this dude. So compared to the first brother, he wasn't shit. Now getting to him was the most challenging thing, because the facility is like rampant with like super soldiers and the fucking dogs that just explode. So that was the hard part, was actually getting to him. And then following that, I got a red mist, which is to gore 150 enemies. To gore an enemy, you basically just have to get a limb to be knocked off of them, or hell, turn them into a bloody paste. And there are plenty of ways to do that. You can use explosives. Hell, when I leveled my knife up, throwing a knife at somebody will cut their fucking leg off. Or if you're using the crush ability, if you get that leveled all the way up, you basically just splatter them against a wall. Probably the explosives are the easiest. Like, once you get the diesel craftwork or the diesel hammer, you'll be able to gore them that way. Or the cudgel hammer. Those are probably the earliest weapons you'll be able to gain to just turn people into a red mist. And then after that, I got Sting Like a Bee, which is to stealth kill 10 super soldaten. There is also a skill that you have to unlock in order to do this. I unlocked it pretty fairly on, because when I was doing the variety hour, I deemed that one a pretty easy one that I can do. But the shitty thing about this is the stealth. The super soldaten are prone to like turning on a fly, and what I kept having happen is when I would get behind them and the RS to perform a stealth takedown would pop up and then vanish within a second. And if you just knife them without that being on the screen, that's all it does, is just a knife. The enemies are aware of you. It may not be an alarm going on, but they're actively looking for you. Even in stealth, if there's no alarm going on, you do not have the ability to do a stealth takedown. It just does not let you do it. So that would frequently happen, is I would creep up behind a super soldaten, they would turn slightly, the RS would vanish, I would just kind of stick them with the knife, and then all hell breaks loose, and I couldn't stealth kill him. And then after that, Nathan and I finally defeated the Uber Guard in Brother 3, unlocking us the Brother 3 achievement. So we've now killed all of the Uber Guards and gained access to the Nazis' computer in order to decrypt hidden messages. And once we did that, it reveals that Juju and I can't remember what she was calling him. I think like Francois or something like that. The guy with the burns on his face. It reveals to us then that Juju, and we'll just call him Francois, was actually Lothar, and they were both Nazi spies. They attempt to kill all three of us. Poor Abby gets stabbed in the eye. Thankfully, it wasn't fatal. We now have to go and hunt down Juju and Lothar, as well as still find our dad. That's the game. I failed to mention that. The whole reason that Soph and Jess are even in Paris fighting Nazis is because they're looking for BJ. Now, we kind of set that aside and have to kill Juju and Lothar. But after that, I unlocked Chopper, which is to achieve Mastery Level 10 with the Sturmgewehr. This is probably my favorite ballistic weapon, just the gun that uses normal ammunition. It's the assault rifle, and I chose to have it silenced. Again, I was trying to keep with that stealth gameplay. It's not the best, because unless you're getting a headshot, it doesn't kill them fast enough a lot of the times. Shooting the more armored enemies with it is just going to alert everyone. But out of the ballistics weapons, you know, your shotgun, the pistol, the machine pistol, It was my favorite. And then after that, I unlocked Plain Sight, which is to enter Lab X. Lab X is a secret facility from the Nazis, and I cannot even remember the reason why we went down there. While in Lab X, I unlocked Immovable Object, which is to kill 10 charging super soldaten. I would just whittle their health down and have Nathan not kill them, because what would frequently happen is, because Nathan was using the laser craft work, and it's probably the strongest gun against the super soldaten, it would just erase their health bar. I had Nathan heal for a moment, and by heal I mean like you would tell an animal to heal, like H-E-E-L, not heal health. I would just whittle their health down and then wait for them to charge and kill them while they were charging. And following that, at the end of Lab X, we got World's Best Dad, which is to meet up with your father, the BJ Blazkowicz, Terror Billy himself. And when we meet up with BJ, he gives us the God Key, though we don't really know how to use it just yet. So once we are given the God Key, we then unlock God Key, which is to obtain the God Key. So now, Soph and Jess, Nathan and I, have to hunt Lothar down and kill him. And the Lothar boss battle is one of the most difficult parts of the game. It's a 3-stage boss battle. So the first stage is within this building when you first confront him. When you confront him, you just sort of fight him in this room. It's not too difficult. The only thing that damages him is the God Key. When you hold the God Key, you're able to catch ammunition being fired at you, and then you just throw it back at them. He runs away, so you chase after him and end up on the rooftop of this facility, and there are 2 stages to this fight. He now has a jetpack and is like firing lasers at you and missile bombardments. And during the second stage, he just sort of hovers in the middle. And what Nathan and I did is there's 2 towers that you can take an elevator up. I got on one tower, Nathan got on the other. He would be distracted by either of us, and Lothar's weak spot is a portion on his back. So when one person was distracting him, the other person would shoot him in the back. It took us a few times to actually get a rhythm down to do the second stage, but once you do the second stage, he flies into a wall, and during the third stage, enemies spawn in, and we would be trying to kill all of the enemies and accidentally trigger his third stage. If you walk too close to the wall he flew into, he pops out of the wall, and not only does he have a laser that absolutely just tears a hole through you, but he then calls in this like attack airship that will quite frequently shoot missile bombardments at you. So the third stage is the most difficult part. I believe we only had 1 shared life left, so we were constantly dying and having to restart the fight over. Eventually we were able to get him killed, and once you kill Lothar, we unlocked Viva la Revolution for killing Lothar. And that is the end of the story of Wolfenstein Youngblood. But it is far from the end of the achievement hunters, because we've got probably another 48 hours of fucking gameplay left. So after killing Lothar, Abby then asks us to continue to go around and help out the people of Paris if there are any side missions left to do. There are also her actions where you'll be in an area and she'll tell you to go tap a phone or blow up a car or save some civilians. After that, I then unlocked See My Vest, which is to obtain 5 power armor skins. Probably the most worthless thing to spend your money on are the power armor skins, but I was required to do it to unlock an achievement. All they do is add a different color to your character's power suit. That's part of the reason why the Gearhead achievement is so difficult, because I think most of the power suits are like 200 to 500 coins, and coins aren't really easy to get a hold of. They're quite stingy when it comes to the coins. But after unlocking See My Vest, I unlocked Airborne, which is to kill 50 enemies while airborne. To get this, I would just jump and then shoot at enemies and hope I killed them while I was still in the air. Quite frequently, this caused me to go down because I'm just hopping around the damn battlefield trying to shoot Nazis. After that, I unlocked Dark Days, which is to enter all undergrounds. Getting to the end of the game, you're going to enter 90% of the undergrounds. The final underground you have to go into is during a side mission, and once you begin that side mission in that underground, you will then unlock this achievement. And I believe you don't unlock the side mission required until you actually beat the main story. I then unlocked Tribute, which is to obtain the souvenir from Dunwall. It's in Victory Boulevard within the first Metro spawn location. There's this apartment complex. You go into the apartment complex and there's a door there that you have to use the diesel craftwork on to open. Once you open the door, you will see a rune sitting on a pedestal within this closet. There's also a red chest in there. When you pick up the rune, it just tells you Dishonored Rune. I was hoping it would give you like a buff or something, but it's literally just a collectible. It does nothing else other than sit in the catacombs on another pedestal. Great, but a nice nod to Dishonored. Next up, I unlocked God Mode, which is to kill 50 enemies with their own bullets. So to do this, you have to use the God key, have enemies fire at you, and when you collect enough bullets, you just throw them back at the enemies. And that's another way you can gore enemies. If you haven't got the gore achievement by this point, which I highly doubt you haven't, you would be able to do it that way because it just tears right through them. Another kind of rare one too, only 1.10% of gamers unlock this. Probably because you get the God key at literally the end of the fucking game, and once you beat Lothar, I assume sane people quit playing the game at this point. After that, I then unlocked Partisan, which is to complete all missions. So the insane people have finished the game at this point. Now the only people left playing it are the clinically insane, myself, and like a handful of others. And poor Nathan was held hostage. There's actually one mission left after you complete all other side missions. I believe it was added later on. It is the treasure collecting mission. When you unlock the treasure mission, there are like 20 different treasures that you have to use the God key to go find. And that one doesn't count. I assume because it was added later on. It definitely helps with getting the skill points required to fully level up your character. And it also gives you money each treasure you find. So it was definitely a welcomed addition to the game, because I can tell you right now, this game would just suck ass having to fully level up your character and purchase every improved weapon upgrade if this mission wasn't added. So I appreciate that. So it's at this point that Nathan was done with the game, and I was unaware of it, but me going for the achievements in this ruined his fun with the game. Because like I said, I was enjoying playing the game, and I think the end game grind ruined the game for him. It stopped being fun. After we killed Lothar, Nathan was done with it. It takes a certain insane mindset to do a lot of these full completions, and Nathan does not give a rat's ass about achievements. So I'm sorry for ruining the game for you, Nathan. I would recommend Wolfenstein Youngblood if you're itching for more Wolfenstein. The full completion is another beast on its own. I then unlocked Hard Boiled, which is to kill 100 enemies while dual wielding. To dual wield, you have to unlock the skill in the skill tree, and the only weapons you can dual wield are the pistol and the machine pistol. I will say, dual wielding a tempo upgraded machine pistol will just wreck house. So that is probably the best way to use the machine pistol, is to dual wield it, because you just absolutely annihilate people. And after that, I then got Explorer, which is to open 200 supply crates. These supply crates they're either going to be yellow and white or yellow and black. The yellow and white supply crates will give you 50 coins when you open them. The yellow and black supply crates will give you 100. I really wasn't even opening these early on. I would only open them if like one was directly in front of me. It wasn't until I got the skill that reveals all collectibles on the map that I actually started opening supply crates, because I was actively seeing them on my mini map and would hunt them out in the pursuit of all of the other collectibles, which there are plenty. I then unlocked American Football, which is to kill 50 enemies with your crush ability. Like I said, I chose to start with the cloak ability, but you can also unlock the crush ability in the skill tree, and really the only time you start actually killing enemies is when you level the crush ability all the way up. But once you max it out, you literally act like A-Train and just run straight through people. And then after that, I unlocked Spray and Pray, which is to achieve Mastery level 10 with the Blitzkrieg, basically the submachine gun. Probably my least favorite of the ballistic weapons in the game. I just pretty much did the steer upgrade, which is damage upgrade on it, and a lot of the enemies aren't very weak to it, so it just ended up like running through a lot of ammo and was very tedious to level up. But after that, I unlocked Expert Explorer, which is to open all red supply crates. Nathan and I would stumble upon red supply crates every once in a while, and the codes for the red supply crates are revealed in floppy disks that you have to decode. But if I found a red supply crate and didn't have the code for it, if I hadn't decoded that floppy disk yet, I would just look it up and put the code in from the internet. I believe I found all of the collectibles, like once I got near enough to where I would unlock the achievement. I was playing this by myself, just with the AI partner. So here towards the end, I was trying to give Nathan a break. I was also wanting to get this done because it had been like a month since Nathan and I started playing it, so I was ready to be done with it. So I just started playing it on my own time, like sometime in the morning, just doing a short bit before I had to go to work. But after Expert Explorer, I unlocked Librarian, which is to find all readables. I then unlocked Cinephile, which is to find all UVK covers, and then Hacker for finding all floppy disks. And then 3D for finding all 3D glasses. So, like I said, once you unlock the perk that allows you to see all of the collectibles on the minimap, you basically just go to the icon on the minimap and pick it up. You can go over to the collectibles tab, and it will actually tell you where that collectible... So, like, if you scroll down the list and there's a collectible you don't have, the tab actually tells you in which district that collectible is. And if you check the, like, when you scroll down to a specific collectible, it will tell you how many in a district you have left. So I'll give them credit that the collectibles tab is actually quite helpful. And thankfully, achievements track in this game, so you're fully aware of where collectibles are and how close you are to getting all of them just from those two tools. So that is greatly appreciated. I wish more games did it that way. But I then unlocked Banker, which is to find 60,000 coins. If only that was all I needed to find, that would have been amazing. But there's probably like another 150,000 coins you've got to collect after that in order to level up all of your equipment. So next up, I got Get the Strap, which is to achieve Mastery level 10 with the machine pistol. Once I unlocked the dual wielding with the machine pistol, it became very easy to start leveling the machine pistol up that way. The only issue is it ran through ammo. I then unlocked Audiophile for finding all of the cassette tapes, which I believe was my last collectible I needed to get. And then I unlocked Gunslinger, which is to achieve Mastery level 10 with the pistol. Like I said, I was working hand in hand with the machine pistol on that one while dual wielding. I then unlocked Hammer Time, which is to achieve mastery level 10 with a hammer weapon. The hammer weapon I upgraded, and the easiest one to do is the Uber Hammer, which is the BFG. The kill requirements for it to level it up are quite small because it will literally like nuke a whole area and kill several enemies at once, and it maxes out at 10. I failed to mention up until this point, in order to level up a weapon, you have to get a certain number of kills. It's mostly in increments of 40 or 60. A lot of weapons will become level 10 once you kill 400 enemies with it. The Uber Hammer, I believe, maxed out at 10, and I think you only have to kill like 60 people with it, so it's not too bad. Next up, I got a Cloud of Lead, which is to achieve mastery level 10 with the Cudgel Gewer. Probably my second least favorite weapon to use is the shotgun, just because it's a shotgun, but yet it doesn't seem to do as much damage as you think a shotgun would. A lot of enemies' shields are not weak to it, so a lot of the times I would use like the laser craft work, get their shield taken down, and then kill them with the shotgun. So it was a lot of swapping back and forth. I then unlocked Trigger Happy, which is to fire 100,000 shots. This is way late into our playthrough of this game, and I had only just fired 100,000 shots. You can farm this by getting on one of the turrets in the stages. They never run out of ammo, and you can just continuously fire. The laser gun also will count for this. I was having to level up weapons anyways, so I figured it would just be pointless to farm it by just standing on a turret when I'm then going to have to go and kill enemies to get the weapons up to level 10 anyways. So I just did it by trying to level up all of the weapons. I then got More Human Than Human, which is to obtain all abilities. So after finishing the main game, all side quests, and collecting all of the treasures, I still didn't have enough skill points to unlock all abilities. So what I had Nathan do was he started being the host of the game, and I joined his game because then we could redo all of the missions in order to get skill points. And we did that for a little bit, but that was when Nathan opted out completely. He was done with the game after we killed Lothar, and it was just agony afterwards. So unfortunately, Nathan was dispatched by the Nazi regime, and I was left alone to save the people of Paris. After that, I got Dust to Dust, which is to achieve mastery level 10 with the laser craft work. I saved the craft work weapons for last. There's not an achievement for it, but you also have to level up each of the hammer weapons as well. You get an achievement for doing one hammer weapon, but there are 3 other hammer weapons. There's the Cudgel Hammer, Laser Hammer, the Diesel Hammer, and the Uber Hammer are all hammer weapons that you have to get to level 10. So I leveled up the Cudgel Hammer, the Laser Hammer, and the Diesel Hammer, and then started work on all of the craftwork weapons. The hammer weapons, other than the Uber Hammer, are probably the worst ones to level up just because you very rarely will get ammo for them. The only way that you could really do this is by purchasing the pep signal that gives you heavy weapon ammo, but that was 5,000 coins. And again, there's the achievement to purchase and improve every weapon part. That's a pretty decent amount of coins that you could have used to buy weapon parts. But if I hadn't have done that, it would have probably taken twice as long because, like I said, you don't get ammo for the hammer weapons often. Really, the only times you're going to pick up ammo for it are in the large wooden crates that you can break open, or by killing the super soldaten that's carrying that specific weapon. Purchasing that pep signal was a necessary evil. But, needless to say, I then got Demolition Woman for achieving mastery level 10 with the diesel craftwork, and then Electric Feel for achieving mastery level 10 with the electro craftwork. And because the electro craftwork was the last weapon I needed to get to level 10, I then unlocked One Woman Army for achieving Mastery Level 10 with all weapons. It's at this point that I have one achievement left to get, and it's Gearhead, which is to obtain all improved weapon upgrades. At this point, I tallied up the total of coins I needed to purchase all the remaining weapon upgrades. And I came up with the figure of 31,110 coins in order to purchase all remaining weapon upgrades. So what I started doing is waiting for the dailies to redo. I would collect the dailies, and every 24 hours, all of the crates within the world reset, and would just collect the dailies, run around doing the crates, and then rinse and repeat. I did it over the past 2 days of doing that and collected my 31,110 coins and purchased what I thought were the last few upgrades I needed. Imagine my surprise and anger when I had skipped over a few. I don't know how I missed the part upgrades that I did, but I did. I still needed to fully upgrade the machine pistol, and there was a upgrade left for the cudgel gewer as well as the sturm gewer. After running around for the past 2 days farming the crates, I then had to run around. It was only like an hour and a half, but I was still mad that I wasn't done. I had to go around for that hour and a half and collect another 3,000 coins to purchase my final few upgrades. And once I did that, I finally unlocked Gearhead on December 1st, 2024. The final achievement for Wolfenstein Youngblood. And I'm free. I escaped the Nazi regime. I don't know the state that Paris was left in, but if you like the Wolfenstein Youngblood achievement HuntWhores, leave it in the comments down below. If you're thinking about going for it, maybe I can give you some tips. It's a fine game. It's definitely not the best Wolfenstein game, and I'm not gonna say it's definitely the worst. It is the worst Wolfenstein game. I thought it was fun for probably about the first 24 hours that I played it. The end game content really dragged. Like, having to level up all of the weapons and then upgrade all of the weapons was just insane. I don't know if there was content planned for the game to kind of alleviate some of the tedium. They did add the treasure hunt missions. Even after doing that, I still had to play the game probably another 12 hours in order to get enough money to get it. And it was just the same thing over and over again. I also tried replaying. You can replay missions. I tried replaying a few of them, but that was more boring than running around looting the crates and killing enemies. Yeah, that wasn't the solution there. Would I recommend going for the full completion? It's not that hard. It's just a lot of grinding. According to xboxachievements.org, it's only a 3 out of 10. It is just a lot. And if that's something you can tolerate, go for it. I am one of those people that is just insane and will suffer through that, but if you share the same mindset, go for it. I would like to try and get all of the achievements for every Wolfenstein game that is obtainable, but we'll see. If this video gets 100 likes, Wolfenstein, that will happen, and Wolfenstein 2 will be one of the ones we do. And by do, I mean everything. The base game and all of the DLC. So that would be a Mein Leben on, I think, 4 different playthroughs, because I think each DLC, I think there's 3 different DLCs that have a Mein Leben achievement. Yeah, if this video gets 100 likes, I'll do Wolfenstein 2. But if you want to support more endeavors like this one, more achievement hunting videos, I also do video game pickup videos as well as just base gameplay. We are still playing A Hat in Time. If that's something you want to check out, consider subscribing. Other than that, check back next time for whatever I do. Bye-bye.